case I need those.
What's going on, YouTube? I'm your man, Ron. I don't have a good catchphrase name.
You don't have a good one?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
Okay, next time. I mean, let's just take notes on which one you think it should be.
Ron
the Don. Let's go with that one for now.
Ron the Don. Okay.
All right. It's my man, Trin, the Shady One.
Tito-Time.
Tito-Time. Dad. Trinidad. So, did you see it this weekend?
Of course I saw it this weekend.
Oh, man.
Of course I saw it this weekend.
You have to. Man. I wanted to see it on the way out the theater from seeing it. Me and my son wanted to see it again. We was going to just stand in the alleyway of another theater just to watch it again because there's only reserved seating at the theaters.
Right.
We were like, because I told him, it's filled up. There's no seats. We barely got the ones we got. He said, I'll sit in the hallway. I mean, we're going to get kicked out. So, but we almost did it.
You might find a single seat here and there, but...
We might have to stack them on top of each other.
Sit on
I
someone's
mean,
lap.
it was a good enough movie to watch it again. I think I'm going to go watch it again.
Yeah, I think you have to watch it again just to catch everything.
Yeah.
It's a long movie. It didn't feel like a long movie.
It didn't feel like it.
But it's a long movie. There are pieces of it I could definitely go back and get a better hold of. But as far as a superhero movie, a 10.
Yeah,
A 10.
for sure.
We just got done watching 22, 21 movies?
Man, I haven't even counted them, but I'll watch them again this weekend if you...
It's 21 or 22. Never has anything like that been. I was comparing it to the universe of Godzilla, right?
Right.
Godzilla's probably the only thing out there that's got that many movies that somehow could be connected.
But they're not really interconnected like this movie. This movie brought together, they say 10 years worth of all the heartfelt pain and anguish of getting us to the point where half of the universe got wiped away in this snap. And I do question though, and I figure it's just because we're used to it, but why did everybody else have to do a snap? Why, I mean, Thanos did a snap.
Yeah, because he started it.
Yeah,
he started it. But everyone else had to do it too.
But why did everybody else have to follow suit?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do a clap? Or
Yeah, it wasn't it's a snap. He started the snap. You have to stick with the snap.
You have to stick with it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's pretty iconic.
And
then they had to use Tony Stark's glove to do it too, which was very cool. I was wondering how they were going to do that.
Okay, but this is one question I have about that.
Okay.
So it took the same people that created Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That same magic and all of that to create the gauntlet to hold the rings.
Right.
But Tony Stark can just build a glove.
See, you just touched on a point that kind of bothers me about the MCU. As much as I love just the action of it, the storytelling of it, it breaks its own rules so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, Ant-Man, #1, breaks his own rules. They say, oh, we just shrink the space between the molecules, right? You're still the same dense weight. Well, how can Homeboy run on top of a gun and smack... Yeah, I'm talking about the first Ant-Man movie, right? Mm-hmm. It would be like a 200-pound man running across the barrel of a gun, right? That doesn't work. They can't. And then in the second Ant-Man, they shrink the building and they carry it like a briefcase.
Right.
You can't do that. But that's okay. It's a movie. Without that, it wouldn't be much of a movie.
Right.
Okay, so we get that. But
bend rules. You always got to bend the rules.
You got to bend the rules. But same thing when they said in the Infinity War when Thanos had the first stone. And they acquired the second one. One of his minions was like, no other being has had the power to wield not one, nay, but 2 stones. Right. And he got the second stone. And, he got all this power surging through him. But Tony Stark throws his hand in there.
No problem.
Even Hulk threw his hand in there.
Well,
no problem.
I can buy Hulk.
Maybe.
I can buy Hulk.
He was way underpowered in this movie, which was kind of cool. Which was kind of, I mean, I liked the fact that he molded his two personalities together. It was, you know what, because they needed to, just like Captain Marvel, I was really worried that she would just OP everything. But the way that they used her, it was really, how can I say, they brought her in as a big gun when they needed to. She wasn't there the whole time.
Right. Well, she had other galaxies she had to patrol and take care of because they don't have Avengers.
And she had hair to cut. So, but same thing with Hulk. He's just way overpowered. So they had to kind of bring him down a little bit to make him fit in the overall movie. And I dig the fact that he kind of wanted to, I don't know, make Hulk feel included, which was kind of weird that they even had Hulk feel like he was excluded in Infinity War. That's why he didn't want to come out.
Yeah, that was a hard character for me. The whole Hulk Banner character was very difficult for me to really get into. It bothered me to see him in that form. Right. I think if we got introduced to this character in its own movie, in its own franchise, I'd have no problem with it. But the fact that Hulk was Hulk and was always Hulk, and then in Infinity War, something happened. He was kind of freaked out.
And they never really explained that.
They don't.
They should have explained that.
They should have explained a lot more to that.
I still feel like he basically got scared. And Hulk is not supposed to be one to get scared. I think he got his bottom kicked by Thanos, and he was just too afraid to face him again. But there's other people that feel something different.
Yeah, for me, it's either that or it was Hulk not wanting to come to the rescue again. Wanting Banner to figure out a way to do it. But this character negates either one of those, and I got nothing other than he found a way to make Hulk kind of symbiotic with him and cool because he wants to take the pictures with the kids. And
true.
That's not Hulk. That's not Hulk. That was hard for me.
But maybe this was a backwards thing that they did. They said, well, how can we get somebody besides Tony Stark, who they probably knew at the very end was going to have to wield the gauntlet? But who else can we do it? In the meantime, Hulk is the only other guy. But how can we get brutish Hulk to calm down enough to do something rational, like stick his hand in a glove and do a snap? So then they had to say, well, then maybe if we mold Bruce and Hulk together, maybe he can get the best of both worlds. He's still strong, but he's got intellect, and everything can be figured out.
I buy that for this movie. I buy that would be a reason why they needed to make him in this movie. But I didn't like it.
No.
I didn't like the character.
No, he's not classic Hulk. Not at all. Not at all. I think a lot of people agree with this. I don't think Hulk can sustain his own solo movie anymore. I don't think he's...
I liked Edward Norton's version of Hulk. I really did.
You did?
Now, once it got to Abomination, that was a lot of CGI you had to take in.
Right.
And I don't know how else you make that fight scene and without all of that. His character was just kind of over the top to me, the Abomination. But as far as everything leading up to that, I thought it was a great movie. I really did. I enjoyed it. I bought Edward Norton as Banner. I thought his struggle was real, and what he was trying to do, and all the disappointments he kept falling into with trying to create a serum that would separate it. And then we got a little bit of what Brainiac at the end of that, where the guy gets the serum, the scientist that was helping him gets the serum. We got a little bit of, and then the movie's done, and then it's gone. The franchise is gone. I was looking forward to another one.
And it may have happened. I think Edward Norton was too prima donna in the back end to allow it to happen. But that's I'm not going to say I know everything about this situation. That's just a little bit that I heard. But there could have been another one with Edward Norton. I did like it. But here's the question: Mark Ruffalo or Edward Norton?
Hard to say because we didn't get to see Edward Norton in the Avengers interacting with them. So I'm going to say, with what they did, I'm okay with it. I'll take Ruffalo with the Avengers because that's all I've seen with him. If I have to try to go back and say what would it have looked like, it wouldn't have been as funny.
No, definitely.
It wouldn't have been as funny.
No, definitely.
Ruffalo has had some great lines as kind of a meek Banner at times, and Norton never came off that way to me. He was much more dominant in what he was trying to accomplish, what he was trying to do, and I think he would have maybe been a little bit too overpowering up against someone like Tony Stark.
I think you're exactly right, and that's why I don't think he would have worked out. And that's why I also didn't necessarily like him. His story is very much a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde story.
Yeah.
So you can't have two dominant people play the same character. You have to. Mark Ruffalo, he's subdued. He's intellectual, but he's subdued. And so when Hulk comes out, that's his alter ego, big, bashing guy. And I loved the moment that he stepped on the scene in Avengers and he turned to Hulk like that. He basically said, "I'm always angry."
Always angry, yeah.
Okay, that solidified me as him being the Hulk.
Okay.
I guess somebody else could have delivered the line, but not with his face, like his attitude toward. Like, I'm really kind of subtle, but I'm always really angry inside, and it's always in there. When I'm ready to let it out, I just let it out. Edward Norton always feels like he has to contain his.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the scene where he was doing the breathing exercises. That was really cool, but it just says to me that he has to contain Hulk, whereas Mark Ruffalo almost makes it seem like he's part of Hulk and he's always there because he's always angry. And he just has to just let him out when it's time to come out. And I like that about the character, being able to be a superhero when it's time to be a superhero.
Yep.
As opposed to, I gotta find, like in Infinity War, I kind of hate the fact that they come out, no!
Yeah.
That sounds so wimpy to me. Man, Hulk is always supposed to be ready to go, man.
Yes. Always angry, always ready to go. I wish they would have explained that a little bit better in the new one. But what did you think about the beginning and how quickly they offed Thanos?
Okay, I was super disappointed in how quickly it happened because I actually didn't know where the movie was going to go from there. And just to let you know, I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't watch any commentary. I literally stayed for the last year. I've stayed away from anybody who wanted to tell me, besides the stupid Ant-Man of Thanos' butt thing that I kind of ran across. But I didn't know what was going to happen. So when they kind of got this plan together to go after Thanos, I'm like, sweet, cool, this is going to be a whole adventure. And then they get to him super quickly, and he's super, down and out. What is going on? And then he just chops off. Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Is the movie over already? I seriously said that to myself. Is the movie over already? Like, what is this? What's going to happen after this? I was so confused. And I think for the next hour or however long it took them to figure out Ant-Man's theory, I kind of was a little disappointed that what were they going to be doing here? What is this movie going to be about? Just them dealing with the aftermath? I was really confused.
I was wondering the same thing, but I loved where they went with it.
Okay.
I loved where they went with it. I wasn't ready for Thanos to be gone that quick.
No.
My jaw dropped. Absolutely dropped when they did that. And just the brutality of it and how quickly, like assassins, they weren't even playing. Got in, off with his arm, got the gun. Where was that the first? Why didn't we do that first?
That's what I said too. That's why it was so disappointing, because I was like, no, the first time around you guys couldn't do this. The second time around it was super easy. This doesn't feel right. This feels like the first movie was wasted in some way. How come it wasn't this easy before?
Yeah. They spent the whole first movie trying to pull the gauntlet off, and all he had to do was chop his arm off.
Yeah. Yeah. How come Tony couldn't use his super, the ray thing and slice his arm off while they're yanking it just...
Right. Yeah. They made it way too easy. But I love the brutality of it.
Yeah.
And Thor's whole you told me to hit you in the head. Whack, done.
Right.
Awesome moment for me, but yeah, I wasn't sure where they were going to go with it, but I loved where they went. So I loved the journey they took us on.
So I'm curious, did you, because once we got to the part where, and you have to refresh my memory of the woman's name who used the memory, and Thanos was able to see because now she was in the same universe, same time frame.
Oh yeah. It's gonna
come to
I got
us.
you.
But when I think, because I was watching, I'm like, oh man, he knows what's happening. But I think the moment that he actually saw when his head got chopped off is when he actually decided to act. I think up until then he was just like, they learned how to travel back in time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going through my plan. But once he saw his head get chopped off, he's like, oh, now I'm going to go after him. I feel like that, and so that's why, in a way, they may have done it to kind of help him be pushed to want to go and retaliate against him.
Right. Well, and he lays that out, I think, pretty well. He talks about that. I thought by just eliminating half of the universe, you all would appreciate it and see the beauty and the benefits to it. But no, you're still coming after and trying to do this. So then we just are going to eliminate all of you and start over.
No. What he wanted to do was still do the same snap, but this time incorporate memory loss. That's what he was saying at the end when he gave that little monologue about you guys didn't. I didn't expect you guys to still feel this resentment, this anger toward all this. You guys are still living in the past of losing these people. Next time I do it, and because he came to the future to basically get the stones, where in the past he had to go throughout the whole universe to try and collect it. He's like, why do that when I could come right and just get the entire thing, go back in the past, do the snap, but this time with memory loss, so you guys won't even remember the ones that you lost, and that way everybody just goes on with life with less people.
Right.
Yeah. And, I think it will still be just as easy to create more resources. Because that's the whole reason for him doing it, was to not drain the resources of the universe, food and so on and so forth, just create more resources, right? Wouldn't that be a better solution than to just make everybody disappear?
Wouldn't you have to make the planets bigger to
I
create
don't know.
more resources?
Do you? I mean, now we're getting into some really crazy thoughts about stuff here, but
at heart, Thanos, I think, is a villain.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
So he has to do something death related.
Right. Like he's not going to create as much as he's going to destroy, I think.
That makes more sense.
Superman, with the same thought process, may say, we need to do something where we make the resources more abundant.
Right.
Thanos, being a villain, is going to say, well, we just need to eliminate people draining the resources.
But if you also consider it this way, because everybody still thinks, I mean, I'll be honest with you, a lot of people say, well, why not just create more resources? In the comics, it was based around him trying to please death. But I think they didn't want to go this route because it's kind of gruesome. It's a little... I mean, the fact that they took so long to even introduce magic and space into the MCU, I think they're like, I'm not sure people really are, wanting to see him worship death.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's the reason. So they kept the plot point of him killing everybody, but at the same time, the reason was for death. And if everybody kind of knew that, they may be a little bit more understanding as to his reasoning for it, as opposed to just saying, dude, I get he's a villain, but why not just increase all the resources? That would make more sense than killing everybody. But you're right. He's a villain. Mm-hmm. He's got to kill people.
Yeah.
That's kind
of what he's going to do.
Okay. But let me ask you this, because this was somewhere along the way, before they got the Infinity Stones, when they were dreaming up the possibility of time travel, I was actually I was starting to feel like the movie was all about them, I don't know, just undoing the past. Not a real big battle was going to come from it. I honestly didn't see the end that was about to happen. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
Okay, I almost got lost in it being kind of like a little bit of a regular movie as opposed to a superhero big budget movie. Mm-hmm. And I was getting a little disappointed midway through the movie. I was not really loving, because I mean the plans were going smooth at first up until Hulk busted through the door and knocked Tony Stark down, right? Up until then, I seriously thought this was like a seriously cookie cutter, just do these things and you get your end result. I didn't think anything bad was going to happen. I didn't think...
But I think that was part of the design.
I know, that's why I liked it so much.
They lulled you to sleep a little bit. Not asleep, but pacified you and made you just kind of get into the story. Yeah. And then they hit you with it. That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
That was. But I want to see if did you feel the same way? Because I was
totally invested. Okay. I was totally invested in everything that was happening. I when they were going back and getting the stones, I was trying to figure out. Okay, so now, what about Loki?
Okay. So okay. Loki just set himself up for something. Don't know what that's going to be.
Right.
Loki is, I think he's coming out with a streaming TV show, right? So could it be for that, or could it be for another movie?
I think by that one act, there's two acts, two things that happened in that movie that I think set up the rest of the universe, the Marvel universe, to do whatever they want to do and gives them full reign to do it.
Right.
Loki grabbing the Tesseract and disappearing.
Okay.
He's somewhere out there with the Tesseract.
All right.
And we don't know where.
Okay.
And we don't know how that plays into his future going forward there.
Right.
And then the end.
Which end? Because there's a bunch of different things happening in. Tell me, what's going on?
When Captain America
Uh-huh.
doesn't come back.
Yeah.
The fact that he stayed
Yeah.
and lived whatever life he lived, whether it be in secret or we have no idea,
what happened.
other than he danced
Right.
and got married. That changes everything with any storyline you want to have. You can do it.
Okay, so I got a question about that because the whole reason why the original Ancient One, or the Ancient One, was so reluctant to give the Time Stone to Mark Ruffalo, to the Hulk, was because she said, "This is my time stream. If I do this, you mess up my time stream." So technically, yeah, they went back and replaced the stones when they should have, which I have questions beyond belief anyway. How they returned the Soul Stone? How did he return the Tesseract back in the government facility before anybody? There's a few questions that got going on there. Like, did he see himself while himself was taking it? Did he see Tony while Tony was taking it? Like, there's all kinds of things I have questions about. But if he did go back and live out life there, how did no one else see him while he's yet being Captain America in that timeline? Right. There's a lot of questions I have with that. So, and how did he have an actual life? This guy is recognizable. He doesn't need to wear a mask. He doesn't need to wear the helmet for people to know that's Captain America, right? Mm-hmm. So I have questions with that. But going back to they can do whatever they want. Are they now doing whatever they want with split off timelines?
Good.
Because if they are, then what was the reason for the Ancient One being so reluctant to give up the Time Stone? Because she wanted to protect her timeline, which now has been messed with because Captain America stayed behind.
Right. But maybe she knew that. Or maybe
she just trusted Doctor Strange. She said he's supposed to be the best of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But going back to Loki, I almost feel that because I really expected the first three to somehow be taken out. Iron Man was killed off. Cap was basically killed off by old age. But Thor, he went to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
Because Loki and Thor they're tied together. Their storylines are tied to each other. Mm-hmm. It's hard to have a Thor without a Loki somewhere.
It is.
So maybe that also helps him out. Because now that Loki's out there and Thor is still be out there, they're going to encounter each other at some point.
I think so.
Maybe that's the reason why they let him stick around.
Loki has a fan base.
He does.
That
He's really
is
cool.
unquestionable.
He's really cool.
And I think to off him, and be done with him, would be crazy for Marvel to do. They have got to keep that fan base happy, and as long as you're popping up here and there, as long as Loki is doing his little stuff in the background, I think that keeps people happy.
Loki, when he died in Infinity War, you tell me how you felt about that. My jaw dropped to the ground because I didn't expect it, at all.
I don't ever believe it.
Well,
I don't ever believe it.
I didn't want to, but it was so stinking real. Right. It wasn't like the Thor: The Dark World real, where he just like Jim Carrey in The Mask. I died, right? It wasn't that. Thanos picked him up and choked him out. His eyes bulged out, man. He was dead.
But I don't ever believe it with Loki. That's the thing. When you hear the stories, Thor's talking about Loki and all the things he's like that character you just can't get rid of.
Yeah.
He keeps popping up. He keeps coming back. He just doesn't go away. And I think that's why people love him.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge reason why people love him.
Yeah.
And I think that was a specific reason they had him grab the Tesseract, disappear, because you never know where he's going to pop up again now.
Right.
He was dead, but he's not.
Right.
And they're always going to keep bringing him back somehow, some way. I think you're right. Thor's now with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's cruising around the galaxy. There's going to be a million ways for Loki to pop up and put his little imprint on situations and mess with Thor.
Right.
I have no doubt about it.
What do you think about the gut, man?
I think that might have to be my next cosplay. I might have to do that as my next cosplay.
Did you think that might happen? Did you have any inkling
No.
that I would? Okay,
No.
me either. I don't know of a storyline. I mean, there may be one. I don't know of a storyline for him to have one, but I thought that was pretty genius to kind of
It's
slow him
fantastic.
down a little bit. It was
He was the
great.
dude.
He was the dude.
He was the dude.
He had the gut.
And then he even mentions, come on, Lebowski. I was like, oh my God, that's so good.
But okay, so let me see if you feel the same way how I felt after the movie when it came down to the big three. I felt that, okay, so the new Iron Man in the comics is now a what? A girl, right?
Which girl?
That's a good question. Now, I haven't read it, so I don't personally know how it all sets up, but his daughter seems to be the story, the way that his relationship is with her. I've heard somebody already say they didn't seem like they have a great bond. Well, technically, his dad, Howard Stark, and Tony didn't have that great of a bond either. And look how Tony turned out. It could be the same thing. You know, dad is gone at an early age of her, and she's going to carry around the smart gene and build something out of it, right?
Well, yes, Pepper was in a suit.
Yeah.
Pepper knows how to use these suits.
Right.
There's no question in my mind that the daughter is going to be right there with her.
But do you think that Pepper is the new female Iron Man, or will it be his daughter?
I think sooner than later it'll be the daughter.
Okay.
Because she was wearing the mask in the tent. He finds her playing with his stuff already. She's interested in it. She digs it.
Right.
She's got the genes, like you said. Very similar situation. She's got something to avenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
She lost her dad to people like this, being like this.
Very true.
I think she's going to be full on wanting to be in that role. And did you hear the end scene?
The end what?
The end scene.
Tell me.
The end credit scene.
Okay, tell me. What are you talking about?
Okay, so they didn't have an end credit scene.
Right.
But they played a sound clip at the very end of the credits. Again,
I didn't know. You knew? Okay, what did you say? Tell me more.
So at the very end of all the credits, the Marvel logo pops up.
I'm buying the ticket again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Marvel logo pops up. You hear what sounds like a blacksmith hammering. Ting, ting, ting. Now, this could be a couple things, right? Maybe an homage to Tony Stark building the very first Iron Man suit when he was in the cave. Could just be a cool little nod. Could be a reference to the next generation of building the suits.
Yeah.
The daughter.
It could be both.
Could be both.
Because Tony Stark died. He was the first to kind of kick off the MCU in his current version.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know the Incredible Hulk and the Hulk was movies way before then and so on and so forth. But the current iteration, he was the first one. There's really no reason to have any more ding ding in the new way that they make their suits, right? So that's likely not to be somebody actually doing that, but as an homage, like you said, I didn't stick around to hear that. I heard that there was that, but I watched it in kind of thing that they had, and I thought maybe I just missed it.
No.
But it was at the very very
like the
end.
last little Marvel logo that pops up before it goes black.
I'm gonna go see it again, and I'm gonna stick it out for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got that. So then, Cap. How do you think about Falcon being the new Captain America?
I honestly think Bucky is better suited.
Me too.
He's a super soldier himself. Falcon is a human that can fly with the aid of this device, but take that device away and he has zero superpowers.
Literally, his introduction was Cap running circles around him, and his tagline was I do what he does, only slower.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what he said, right?
So I don't see how he can wield the shield and do everything on any kind of level that Cap did.
Right.
So I don't like him as Captain America. I like Bucky because he has the same attributes. Okay. This will be a completely different Captain America and a much more vulnerable one.
Yeah. But Bucky didn't do anything in this movie though.
No.
He shot a couple rounds off.
Yeah.
Literally, that was it. Then he stood around and waited for for Falcon to get the shield. And just before our battery dies. So the last one was, what is her name? Tessa Thompson. taking over as king. Tessa Thompson being the actual.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
King of Asgard.
Valeria?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Okay. Her really quick. What do you think?
She's always kicking butt. Like,
Yeah.
she's great at that.
Yeah.
So I buy her as a warrior. I don't think we have any knowledge of what kind of leadership she possesses, really. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen her in those
She was
roles.
part of the whatever the elite warriors that they had.
But she's a warrior.
Yeah.
She's a warrior. We don't know what her abilities are as a leader. If she was leading groups in these different movies and taking them, we would have gotten a little bit better understanding of that. But all we know her is as a warrior. Now, we could maybe say the same thing about Thor.
Right.
You could see at the very beginning when we met Thor, he wanted to be king, but it was almost a vanity thing, right? He wanted to be king because he thought he was owed it.
Right.
And as time has gone on, he seemed less interested in being king and more interested in being a warrior.
Right.
So maybe that's.
I think the king Odin even told him, like, you're pretty much a warrior, dude, and his kingmanship isn't for him right now. He needs to go out there and still be Thor, the guy who goes out there and shows his face among everybody in the universe. Okay, go ahead.
And so maybe passing it to her is just because he knows he's not the guy right now. He can't do that, and she's not looking to go anywhere. Maybe she's kind of had enough of her fight.
I feel like it's their way of setting up a female Thor. I really was waiting, but when he first started saying Asgard needs a new king, I was so like, oh, he's about to give her his powers. I was so looking forward to him saying, I bestow upon you the power of Thor, because Thor isn't really the person, it's the power of whatever. The female Thor, the storyline in the comics is that whoever wields the hammer and possesses the power of Thor can will Mjolnir, however you pronounce it. So technically somebody else can be Thor. That's why there is now a female Thor, as opposed to Thor being just this one person, and somebody else who wields the hammer has to be somebody else's name.
Speaking of the hammer, where is it?
Oh, it's with Cap. Well, where is it? Because Cap didn't bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh. I still feel that if you do too much, leave too many strings hanging, I feel like people will start to wonder what happened to it and want to hear answers about it. And they never touch on what is the possibility of these things happening. And they can't focus too much time on the possibilities of all these different timelines happening. No, they just tell you that it is happening, but Mjolnir is too important of a of something to have out there without someone wielding it.
So I think you're not going to leave a nugget like that and never touch on it again. It will come up somewhere. It will. It's like you said, too important of an object to just be floating around. The Tesseract is too important to just be floating around with Loki.
Right.
They're gonna come back to it. It's gonna have an answer.
You know what? I think in a way, like you said, I think that because Valkyrie is now king in the comics, when the female Thor, she was using the hammer, and the hammer was broken in Thor Ragnarok. Now that it's back in play, he can find his way back to Valkyrie, and that will be her give into being the new Thor. She wasn't, but she wasn't giving it right now because technically Cap had it. So maybe if it finds its way back to her, that will be when she becomes Thor. That sounds pretty good. I like that. I don't want to leave too many things out there where, such important objects like that can't just float around. Right. It has to somehow, they have to speak to it somewhere, somehow. The Tesseract, in a way, they have to put the Infinity Stones back out there. They have to. They have to exist. They have to be just like the Ancient One didn't want to let hers go because it needed to be in their timeline. Whatever splits that happen, it needs to be in their timeline for that reality to exist. That's the whole. I forget his name, but one of the wizards. I say wizards. One of the like Doctor Strange's guy. Mm-hmm. When he explained the Big Bang when it happened, the elementals, the six crystals. That's how. It's part of the universe. And without it, is there a universe? Is there a universe there? I don't know. So, okay, we're getting super into it. I get it. But people do this for these movies. This is why they're super popular. This is why they're important to people, because you get to have these kind of discussions. So if Kevin Feige and Disney starts really messing with stuff like this, it's going to upset people, and they can have a Star Wars in their hand. You just make two things too out the loop of where we know things should be, it will upset people.
I guess it's possible, but I think they've been doing a really good job of tying everything together that needed to be tied.
But will they now, though? Will they? Because these movies were all tied to this event. But what's going to happen after this? Like, I mean, we got the Mysterio coming in, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the possible another big three. Iron Man's daughter and Falcon and Bucky. I don't know how they're going to interact with each other. They're going to trade off between who's going to be Captain America in one movie and the next one, right? Because, I mean, technically they both willed it throughout the comics, right? So what's going to happen with that? Are they going to go back in time and grab Chris Evans again and say, hey, can you be Captain America one more time? I mean, you've got Valkyrie possibly being the next door. You've got all kinds of new movies, these new characters, Ant-Man the Wasp.
New characters, I think, is what we're looking forward to next.
Right.
New characters, new faces, new abilities, new stories.
But all in the space? Where's the Earth stuff besides Ant-Man?
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be all in space. But new versions of characters even. But I really think we're going to get a lot of new stories, new faces, new abilities. And I think that's what is next and why we're going to be excited about it. Okay. We've had this for so long, but I think it was a fitting end to this saga and this time.
Yeah.
I honestly thought a lot more people were going to die.
Okay, yeah.
I really thought we were going to lose a lot more.
Okay.
I was shocked at the how little we actually lost. But I think it opens the door. One character I had a question. Did you catch?
Okay.
Because my daughter caught it.
Okay.
And pointed it out to me during the funeral scene. Kind of the as they're panning through the people that are there paying their respects.
Yeah. One guy at the end.
Did you see the one guy by himself?
Yes. I don't know who it is. Who is it?
She says it's Harley. She says Harley is the kid from Iron Man 3. That he was working with Tony. Building the robots.
I think I told you about this. Is he supposed to be the new Iron Man? But then he has a daughter now in this movie, so now I'm like, well, which was supposed to be the Iron Man now?
Are they going to come together?
Oh.
Are they going to work together? Who knows? But the fact that he was there was not an accident.
Okay.
And the fact that they didn't give him any other time to talk, he just was there. You're panning through and you see him. That was huge. That was done specific for a reason.
Wow. Okay, so that brings up the next question of how do you feel about all the past characters basically making an appearance in this whole movie, man? You've got Robert Redford. Mm-hmm. He reprised his role. You've got Peggy, I think is the name of the one that he needed to have the dance with, Captain America needed to have the dance with. Agent Carter. She came back. I mean, a host of people came back in this movie. That was awesome, man.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. When I started seeing all those different, I said, I can't believe they got all these. Even Jane Foster, Natalie Portman. I thought she just hated this whole thing, but she came back and did this movie again. It made me feel so good.
Yes.
I said, Disney either has some really great contracts or they just have a lot of people who love it. And people really want to be involved and people really want to,
They got money.
Do you think?
They got money.
Everybody?
They got money.
You sure?
Yeah.
I feel like some of them didn't. Like Frank Grillo, did he get something? I mean, he just... Okay. And
Disney's got the money to pay.
Yeah, well, I mean, they cleared $1.2 billion the first weekend globally. Yeah. Okay. So, your biggest giddy moment.
Giddy moment. Oh. I mean, it had to be, I think, just for me, when, at the end for me, when everyone came back, and they just keep coming out of the portals, I couldn't wait to see who was going to step out next.
Yeah.
So for me, that was, as far as giddy moments, that's where I was. A big smile on my face as I'm watching it. My eyes are big. I'm like, who's next? Oh, he's next. Oh, he's there. Oh, love that.
Yes.
Love that. It completed everything for me. There's Cap. Because I thought I was getting ready to see Cap die.
Okay.
I really thought, okay, Thanos is going to take him out right now.
Right.
His shield's broken.
Right.
He's bloody. He's going to go down fighting.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
Thumbs up.
Right.
And as he's getting ready to do that, everyone comes out. And I was just like, oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
that part right there, I agree with you. That was my biggest part. When Cap, he finally was able to muster his strength to get up, I seriously thought he was about to say, and maybe they only have license to do this one time per movie or something, because when he was fighting himself, his younger self, I totally thought one of the lines would have been, man, I'm really strong when I was younger. I was really strong when I was younger, because his younger self was kicking him.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And when Homeboy was like, I can do it all day, he's like, I know. So I thought when Cap toward the end was getting up after being beat down by Thanos, I thought that was going to be his line. Mm-hmm. I seriously was about to say with him, I was like, I can do this all day. And then all of a sudden, the portal started opening up. And because I was anticipating one other thing, which would have been powerful by itself, and something else came in that was awesome, it threw me into a fit. I was like, oh, yeah! I went crazy, man. I'm telling you, I was probably one of the only ones in the theater. I don't know, but I went crazy, and I was super happy.
Well, to go along with that, when Captain America wielded the hammer for the first time, that was another moment.
That was a great moment.
And I just lit up. He's worthy. He's worthy.
For me, it was when Thor said, I knew it. That was the part that got me, because I'm like, yeah, I do it too. Because in Age of Ultron, he was the one who moved it that little inch, right? Mm-hmm. And Thor was like,
right.
And he was like, okay, he couldn't do it. But he was, and I loved how he used it, man. Mm-hmm. He was knocking Thanos around with the shield, with the hammer and everything. And when they exchanged hammers,
no, you get the little one.
You get the little one. I'll take the big one. You get the little one here. That was great, man. A lot of characters couldn't get enough screen time. Black Panther didn't do as much as he could have. Shuri, but then again, I love those characters. I love every single one of them. They all did their part, but Captain Marvel. Do you think she was used well? Do you think she was she came at the right moment? Do you think she should have been used earlier?
I think if she's used more, Thanos isn't as intimidating. She's so powerful.
Yeah.
You had to limit her exposure.
Right.
I mean, Captain America is fighting Thanos. Captain America is going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
He's still a human on steroids.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. That's what his power is. He's a human on steroids.
Pretty much.
That can't compete with a galactic being like Thanos.
Right.
Captain Marvel is that kind of being.
But Thor should be too. He just falls short a little bit.
I think Thor falls short because of his own personality. His personality gets in the way where he thinks he should. He's so cocky.
Yeah,
he's so cocky. If Thor had Captain America's personality, he'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
But that's what makes them the characters that we love, is because they're flawed.
Right.
If a character doesn't have flaws, they're unbeatable. It is Superman, right? You got to find ways to make Superman vulnerable,
right? Because
really, he's not.
Well, they used the Power Stone to make Captain Marvel vulnerable, because when Thanos went to hit her in the face and it didn't do nothing to her, she didn't flinch, she didn't move or at all. He had to actually pick up a stone, put it into the into his hand, and Power Stone her, and that's the reason why she flew off. So we know that there's something out there that can get her.
Right.
It's just that she, but yeah, I love the cinematography of Thanos ordered the raining of the bullets down to the ground, even though it might kill his own soldiers, and all of a sudden they all train them up at the sky. I was thinking to myself, why are they doing that? What happened? What's up there? I didn't expect it, man. This movie gave me so many unexpected things. I just love it. And when she came in, just blasted through everything. Oh man, and that's when I knew the movie was coming to an end, because I'm like, okay, she's on the scene now. It's about to happen. Like they're about to kill Thanos, and I was worried the whole time. I kept thinking about the timeline and kept thinking about how the other timeline where he should be going back to, which they were trying to send him back. They were trying to send him back to do whatever it is that he was going to do, because that's out of their hands, right? But they couldn't, and so now they have to kill him. It's like, who's going to do it? And I do love that Tony was the one to do it.
Love that.
I loved it.
It started with him. The whole universe started with him. It had to end with him.
I do love it. But they broke their own rule. He's not supposed to be powerful enough to wield all 5 stones. No way. That should look in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. The one stone took 5 of them, right, to hold on to each other to be able to wield it. Isn't that what happened?
But it did kill him.
I know it did, but it should have like done a Guardians of the Galaxy type killing, not like a just burn up half my body and then I peacefully go. But granted, look. At the end of the day, it was the right way to do it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was the right way to do it. I just sometimes it throws me out of loop when I see that. Wait, that's not supposed to happen according to your rules. But then I let it go because.
But these are comic book movies,
I know.
and the comic books will do things that are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I got to give leniency to the movies.
I do too.
If the comic books can be so ridiculous, then so can the movies, and we just keep watching.
I usually just going to keep watching them because they're good, they're entertaining. They hit the right spots, man. I definitely loved everything in the third act was on point for me. Everything in the third act was on point. The first act, I was a little hesitant. Second act, I felt, dude, for real. This is all this is going to be about. Just bringing the people back. I get it. We miss everybody. I get it. But is that all this is going to be about? That third act blew me away. Everybody's going to see it for that. I will seriously watch the whole movie again just for that.
I'll watch it again just because it's a great movie.
So that's our big take on this movie so far. There's a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, we can keep going.
We could. I think we can talk about individual characters. Ronan's character, or Hawkeye's character that turned into Ronan. Let me see. Black Widow. Oh, Gamora coming back. I love that they didn't allow her and Star-Lord to just be super in love the moment they saw each other, as if they knew each other, right? Yeah. I think that if they keep her, I don't know how they would get her on his starship though, but when they do, if they keep her kind of mean and vicious like this, I will actually believe she's as formidable as they set out to make her in the comic books. Because I'll be honest with you, after the first one, the first Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't see it. I was like, she's a little softy, man.
I felt it more in this movie, though.
For sure. I for sure felt it in this movie. And maybe there was a lot of criticism out there that made her really play it up this time. But I loved it. There was so many characters, man. We can talk about it all day. But I think at the end of the day, the movie was great. And you can't beat a movie like this. No. You really can't. The anticipation, the build-up. And I absolutely recommend that people just stay away from any reviews before movies like this come out.
Reviews, yes. I will say, you stayed away from the trailers. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't miss out on anything.
People
the trailers
say that.
did a great job of getting you excited without telling you anything of what you were going to see.
I heard that, and I didn't want to take the chance, so I didn't for that reason, because movies like Spider-Man, when the first one came out, Homecoming, and some other movies before that, I saw some trailers and I just thought to myself, okay, I'm understanding what the movie's about before I get into the movie. So now it's all about just the explosions or the action part. I want to hear the theme of it all before I want to see it when it happens, not before it happens. I don't want to understand what the movie's about before I see the movie and what it's about. So, but you're right. I think for the bigger ones, like the Avengers, I think they do a good job. For maybe the smaller ones, maybe not so much. And so I'll have to make that determination based on which one. But I would love to have kept Mysterio a mystery, personally.
Okay.
don't show me that Jake Gyllenhaal playing the actor. I mean, give me like a hint of it, like he flew around, and then everybody's like, "What was that?" And then just leave it like that. Like, ooh, what character could that be? It had a round head. It was kind of glowy. Could that be Mysterio? As opposed to just showing me it's definitely Mysterio.
Okay.
It's stuff like that. But that's just my preference because I'm loving the movie so much.
Yeah.
I just want to be constantly surprised.
Gotcha.
But that's me. All right. Anything on your plate?
No.
You got everything out?
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Peace.